Welcome to part 2 of my video about Harry Potter. And we're going to pick up from where we left off. That's right, we're going to pick up from where we left off in the previous video in part 1. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, click the link in the description of the video and you can watch part 1. So let's pick up from where we left off. One evening, Harry, Ron and Hermione are walking back. They're walking back to their dormitories. So they're going back to their dormitories. And while they're on the staircase, this is a staircase here. While they're on the staircase, suddenly the staircase moves. Because in this school, in this magic school, Hogwarts, the staircases move, and they move unexpectedly.
What's happening? The staircases change, remember?
So the staircases move unexpectedly, suddenly, and with no warning, completely unexpectedly. So the three of them, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they get lost and they go to the wrong place. They end up in the wrong place. They end up on the 3rd floor corridor. So they end up on the 3rd floor corridor, but they had been told before. They had been told to avoid the 3rd floor corridor, right? When Harry first came to the school, on his first day of the school, the headmaster, Dumbledore, the main teacher of the school, he's the headmaster, he had told everyone to avoid the 3rd floor corridor because it was dangerous. Now Harry, Ron and Hermione have ended up on the 3rd floor corridor. They come across a door, and it's a locked door. So they come across a locked door and they don't know why it's locked. They don't know the reason that it's locked. But anyway, Hermione uses a spell with her wand. Here she is holding her wand in her hand, and she does a spell to unlock the door. She uses a spell to unlock the door. They go through the door. They come across a monster. It's a big monster. It is a dog with 3 heads. A giant dog with 3 heads. So it's a 3-headed dog is what it is, a 3-headed dog. And Harry, Ron and Hermione, they are absolutely petrified. They are petrified by this. They're so scared, very scared. They're petrified, and they scream and they run out and they leave. We will get back to the 3-headed dog later on. Another day, another evening. Everybody is eating dinner in the main hall. All the students are eating dinner in the main hall. And suddenly, one of the teachers at the school, one of the professors, comes running out, and this is Professor Quirrell. Professor Quirrell is a quiet, shy, timid. He's very timid, Professor Quirrell, sorry. Professor Quirrell is very timid, and he comes running into the main hall, and he says, "Troll, troll in the dungeon, troll in the dungeon."
Thought you ought to know.
And everybody runs back to their dormitories to stay safe. But Harry, Ron and Hermione, they come across the troll. And so the troll was in the bathroom. And so the three of them have to fight the troll. And Harry tries to fight the troll, but the troll grabs him by the leg and holds him upside down. So you can see in this picture, the troll is holding Harry by the ankle, actually, sort of by his ankle like this, and he's holding Harry upside down. Yes, you can look at this. Harry right now is upside down. See, he's upside down, and the troll is holding a big club. Look at this. This is a club. It's a big club that he's holding. And so the troll tries to hit Harry with the club. And in the end, it's Ron who rescues Harry. Ron uses a magic spell to rescue Harry before Harry can be hit with this giant club that the troll is holding. So in the end, they defeat the big troll. They defeat the troll in the bathroom. Thanks to Ron and his magic skills.
Wingardium Leviosa! Cool.
Mysteriously, somebody sends Harry a present. Actually, it's a Christmas present. Mysteriously, Harry gets a present from an unknown person. So he does not know where the present came from. But mysteriously, it comes to him. Now, what is this present? What present does Harry get from this unknown person? He gets this strange cloak. So this is a cloak, and in fact, it's a special cloak. It's an invisibility cloak. So this is an invisibility cloak. And if you look in this picture, it turns Harry invisible.
Whoa! My body's gone! I know what that is. That's an invisibility cloak.
So now if you put on the cloak, anything that is underneath the cloak will turn invisible. So look at this. In this picture, all we can see is Harry's head. Everything below his head is invisible because it's covered by the cloak. So it turns you invisible. Harry goes around the school. He sees many things. Many things happen. One evening, Harry comes across this mirror. This is a very strange kind of mirror. He comes across this mirror in a strange room in the school. Now, this is a magic mirror. It's called the Mirror of Erised. That's the name of the mirror. The Mirror of Erised. The mirror will show you your deepest dreams. Yes, it shows you the thing that you want the most in the world. It shows you the thing that you crave the most, right? The thing that you really crave, the thing you want a lot. The mirror will show you what you deeply crave. And in this picture, we can see that in the mirror, Harry can see his parents. So I think this is the one thing that Harry really craves, is that he wants to see his parents, and he wants his parents to be alive. Because, of course, Harry doesn't have any parents. Harry is an orphan, right? He's an orphan, and orphans are children who grow up without parents. So yeah, Harry Potter is an orphan. And so when he looks into the mirror, the thing that he sees that he wants is his parents. Dumbledore finds him. Dumbledore finds Harry looking into the mirror. Dumbledore is the headmaster of the school. He's the main teacher of the school. He's the headmaster. And Dumbledore gives Harry some important advice. Dumbledore shares his wisdom. He shares his wisdom with Harry here.
It does not do to dwell on dreams, Harry, and forget to live.
One evening, Harry has to go into the forest. This forest is called the Forbidden Forest. So Harry has to go into the Forbidden Forest along with his rival Malfoy. Malfoy is his rival. They are always competing. Harry Potter and Malfoy, they're always like fighting and competing together because they are rivals. And so they go into the forest, and we can see that Malfoy here is carrying a lantern. This is called a lantern. And so Malfoy is carrying the lantern. And they have a dog with them as well. They walk through the forest, and it's a very eerie forest. It's really eerie, right? You cannot see very well. It's dark, very dark, and there is lots of fog as well. This white fog, it makes it difficult to see where you're going. And so it's an eerie forest. It's very eerie. While they're in the forest, they come across someone they did not expect. They come across a strange figure here. A strange figure with a hood over the top. And this strange figure here, he is drinking the blood of a unicorn. So there's a unicorn here lying down. And he's drinking the blood of the unicorn. This figure is actually Voldemort. Now, Voldemort is the bad guy. Voldemort is the evil guy. And they see him in the forest. And so Harry, Hermione, and Ron, they realize, right? They have a feeling that they think to themselves, why is Voldemort in the forest next to the school? Why is Voldemort, hanging out in the forest by the school? Why is Voldemort, hanging out in this eerie forest next to the school? Maybe he wants something. Maybe he wants something from inside the school. And so they talk to Hagrid. Hagrid is their friend. Hagrid is a teacher at the school. And they talk to him. And Hagrid is not very good at keeping secrets. He's pretty bad at keeping secrets, Hagrid. And so while Harry, Ron, and Hermione are talking to him, he lets slip some important information. He lets slip this information. He lets slip that he had been talking to a man in a pub, having a drink with a man in a pub, and that the man had been asking about this stone. This little stone here. Hagrid lets slip that this is called the Philosopher's Stone. This is the Philosopher's Stone, and what does this stone do? What does the Philosopher's Stone do? Well, it gives you immortality. This stone will make you immortal. It will give you immortality. What does immortality mean? It means that you can never die. You can live forever. If you have the stone, it will make you immortal and you will never die. And Hagrid also lets slip that this stone is actually inside the school. The stone is inside the school, underneath a door which is guarded by the three-headed dog from earlier. So the stone, the Philosopher's Stone that will make you immortal, it is guarded by this three-headed dog. And Harry, Ron, and Hermione, they realize that Voldemort is hanging out in the forest by the school because he wants this stone. He's planning to take the stone and become immortal and get his power back. So Hagrid is not good at keeping secrets. He lets slip a lot of things.
What that dog is guarding is strictly between Professor Dumbledore and Nicholas Flamel.
Nicholas Flamel?
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
Hagrid lets slip something else. Hagrid also lets slip that if you want to get past the three-headed dog, the only thing you have to do is to play music to the dog. Hagrid says that if you play some music to the dog, the three-headed dog will fall asleep. So if you want to get past the three-headed dog, all you've got to do is play a bit of music and the dog will fall asleep. That's what Hagrid lets slip a lot of information, you see. He's really bad at keeping secrets. And so Harry, Ron and Hermione, they want to go in the door underneath the three-headed dog to get the stone, to stop Voldemort from getting the stone himself. So they go to the three-headed dog, but when they arrive, the dog is already sleeping because there is already music playing for the dog, which means that somebody has already come here. Somebody got there first. They have to pass through a series of traps here if they want to go to where the stone is, the Philosopher's Stone. They have to go through many traps. The first trap is this one. And when they fall down the trapdoor, they find themselves on top of these plants, many of these plants, but the plants start to wrap themselves around Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They start to wrap around them. And Ron is panicking. He's panicking because the plants are wrapping around him.
You have to relax. If you don't, it'll only kill you faster. Kill us faster? Oh, now I can relax.
Hermione, luckily, Hermione keeps a cool head. She doesn't panic. She keeps a cool head, Hermione. She doesn't panic. She stays calm. She keeps a cool head and she uses a spell to defeat the plants which are wrapping around Ron.
Ron, you okay? Yeah. Okay. Whew. Lucky we didn't panic.
As for the next challenge, they go to the next room. And there are lots of keys flying around, lots of flying keys around.
Curious. I've never seen birds like these.
They're not birds. They're keys.
And there's also a door, and they need to find the key to unlock the door. And so Harry is the one for this task. So Harry gets on his broomstick again. This is his broomstick. And Harry flies to catch the correct key. And he succeeds. Harry succeeds in doing this. And he gets the key and he unlocks the door. For the next challenge, the three of them, Harry, Ron and Hermione, find themselves on a giant chessboard. So this is a chessboard and this is a game of chess. This is chess. And so what they need to do if they want to pass through into the next room, they need to win a game of chess. They have to play chess and they have to win. Luckily, Ron is very good at chess. Ron plays chess a lot, and so he knows how to win the game. So they play a game of chess, and eventually Ron wins the game, but he's badly injured. He's injured badly. So even though he won the game, he gets badly injured, and so Hermione has to take Ron back to the hospital to treat his injuries, and now it's just Harry. It's only Harry now. So finally, Harry reaches the bottom, way down, and Harry arrives in the room and he comes across somebody he did not expect.
You? No, it can't be.
You see, Harry had always thought that the Professor Snape was the one who was evil. But actually, he comes down and he finds Professor Quirrell. Professor Quirrell is down there. Now, Professor Quirrell is a shy, timid teacher, and nobody would ever expect that Professor Quirrell was actually evil. Because he's so shy and timid, nobody would expect this. But he comes down and it turns out that Professor Quirrell is the one who has been helping Voldemort to get the stone. It's a very creepy moment, but it turns out that Voldemort is actually on the back of Quirrell's head. So this is Professor Quirrell and Voldemort is on the back of his head. This is a very creepy face, incredibly creepy. And anyway, Harry looks into the mirror. This is the mirror of Erised from before, the one that he saw his parents in. And so he looks into the mirror and he somehow gets the stone. The stone is in his pocket. But Voldemort knows this. So this is Voldemort and he tells Professor Quirrell to kill Harry Potter or to take the stone from Harry Potter. You see, Harry looks into the mirror and he sees the stone, and actually the stone somehow ends up in his pocket. And so Quirrell attacks Harry Potter because Quirrell wants the stone. It's a very powerful stone and it will make you immortal. If you get it, remember, it will give you immortality, this stone. And so he tries to take it and you can see Quirrell has got his hands on Harry's throat, trying to choke Harry. But when Professor Quirrell tries to touch Harry Potter, something strange happens. And if Harry touches Professor Quirrell, it turns his body into rock. And Professor Quirrell starts to crumble. His face starts to crumble down. It's a very strange magic spell. And Harry doesn't know why this is happening. But Professor Quirrell's face starts to crumble down. After this big ordeal, Harry has been through a lot of stress. It has been very difficult, and there's been this big ordeal with the stone and Quirrell and Voldemort. Harry wakes up to find himself in the hospital. And he wakes up to find himself next to Professor Dumbledore. Professor Dumbledore, the headmaster of the school. And Dumbledore talks with Harry a little bit. And there is a famous quote from this moment as well. Now, Professor Dumbledore explains that the reason that Quirrell could not touch Harry, or when he did touch him, he started to crumble, his face started to crumble down. It's because of love. So because his mother gave him protection, a magic protection. Anyway, the story is nearly over. And the last thing to do is decide who wins the House Cup. Who's going to win the House Cup this year? Is it going to be Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, or Ravenclaw? In the end, it turns out that Gryffindor are the winners. Gryffindor are the winners. So all the people in Gryffindor house, they throw up their hats. They throw their hats into the air to celebrate. They celebrate by throwing their hats into the air. And Gryffindor win the House Cup this year. Finally, it's time for Harry to go home. Back to the Dursleys, back to where he was at the beginning of the film. And then before he leaves, Harry says,
Feels strange to be going home, doesn't it?
I'm not going home. Not really.
Anyway, the train goes home. This is Hagrid. Hagrid is standing on the platform, watching the train leave. And that's the end of the movie. That's the end of Harry Potter. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned lots of vocab from this video. Keep listening to English, and I will see you in the next one. Hello guys. If you want more videos, go to EnglishSponge.com. On the website, you will find videos from many different teachers, some British teachers and some American teachers. The videos are organized by level A1, A2, B1 and B2, so you can choose which level you want to listen to. So, go to EnglishSponge.com. The link is in the description of the video.